Welcome everybody, it's TorontoUnicorn and
Hi.
and we are just shooting the shit, chilling at my place, and we thought, you know what, we're gonna turn the camera on and we're gonna just capture whatever organically happens. Some dicks make me gag when I suck them, and not the gagging in the right way. I don't know how to stop it, but some uncircumcised dicks, when I put them in my mouth and I feel the foreskin move, I have an involuntary gag, and it's very hard to cover that up when the dick is nowhere near my throat. So it's a problem I have. I don't know how to fix it.
But can I ask you about your technique in that case?
Yeah.
So I don't understand, because with the foreskin, you know, normally you're sucking on it, you're pulling the foreskin back.
I don't touch the foreskin.
No, but like
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. I don't touch the foreskin. Are you supposed to hold the foreskin?
You're supposed to pull it back. You don't leave it out there exposed. You pull it back, and you're jerking them.
No, because when I pull it, guys are always so particular. Like, don't touch it too hard, or don't pull it too hard. I have never pulled a man's foreskin back.
Okay.
Before you giving him a blowjob.
I wish we had a model dick with a foreskin. Is there something we can improvise?
No, it's really,
Do you have a
really
cucumber?
hard. No, I'm kidding. I don't have any food. It is a problem, and it's happened with two men now, where I will literally put their dick just this much.
No, okay.
And I
can't. All right. So let me offer suggestions.
Okay.
From my experience on that, because I did
suck some D in your day,
and some uncircumcised. Here's the thing: is okay. I'm gonna try and do a visual. I don't know if this is gonna work on camera, but you have the dick and the foreskin. It can sort of slide up and down. Do you do that? Yeah. See.
I don't touch the foreskin. Because a gentleman, in my opinion, just like B, who I sleep with once in a while, he likes to hand his cock to me with the foreskin already retracted. I fucked this man and sucked this man for a year before I actually knew he was uncircumcised. I swear to God. And the reason I knew is because we took some video of our sex. And it was when I was watching the video that I saw I was like, that's been in my mouth. That's been everywhere, and I didn't know. That's why, because I think a gentleman pulls the foreskin back for us so that we don't have to mess around with some equipment we don't understand.
Wow, you have high expectations, honey. I just expect that the man with the foreskin washes it properly. That's my big expectation.
I've never had a problem yet, though. I've never had a problem with a skinny dick.
Interesting.
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's been a guy who had, like, sweat in his, like, groin area.
That happens, though.
But, no, I've had a pretty good run with dick.
It's yeah, no, I mean, with you've never had the thing where you get a little pubic hair in the foreskin? It's like stuck in there, and it can be very painful for the guy, because you have to, if you just pull it out, it's like, yeah, like that's exactly it. So you don't just pull it out, it's like pulling a guitar string along your hand, you know? No, you have to retract very gently, and then you can remove it gently.
I'd rather not have to work on the mechanics of the cock. I'd rather the cock be...
Then you need a circumcised cock.
No, or they're just fully erect and retracted foreskin when they deliver it to TorontoUnicorn. That is when I will love but here's the problem. Does that mean I can't suck uncircumcised dick? Because
No,
I'm not doing a good job at it.
It just means that you need to maybe amend your technique by holding the skin on the shaft, just pulling it down, and just holding it there.
But I plan to get more than this much in my mouth. So if I'm going to hold the skin, I can't go deep.
No, but the skin goes down so that you have the head that's exposed.
How far does it go down?
It goes all the way down.
I'm going to need a man.
I need a demo.
Why
did you buy a Brittany? We could have used the actual
I didn't buy the Brittany. The Brittany came specially delivered. But it is an issue I have, and so there is some guys in my rotation of partners that, I'll be honest with you, I love sucking dick so much. Like, I am a fan.
I do too.
And when I get a dick that I don't like to suck, I know it's not me. Okay, I know it's the dick. It's not me. I like sucking dick, so it is the dick specifically that is an incompatible dick with my mouth.
I agree. I enjoy a good D, in the mouth too. Definitely, that's kind of a good sport for me. I propose this to you.
Mm-hmm.
Since we can't seem to have a model to come to an agreement with,
mm-hmm.
the next uncircumcised guy that we find at Oasis. I want to demonstrate
Okay.
what I'm talking about. And we can compare techniques.
Okay.
And we can come back and talk about that at that point.
I think this is going to be a really good idea because I think that we're going to have volunteers who are going to be like, sure, a bunch of girls want to touch my dick. Okay.
Maybe.
But honestly, it's a real problem to the point where there's some partners that I've had that I don't know if I want to play with again because if I can't enjoy sucking their D.
Yeah. No, I know. You kind of, you lose half the pleasure of it.
And then I'm embarrassed because I can't not gag. And so I it's not like
I'm thinking that if you're gagging, you're not quite doing it right. There's something. I'm sure there's something I can.
I've sucked enough D in my life to know I know how to suck D.
Well, I don't doubt that. I'm just wondering because I mean, the gag only happens to me if I'm deep throating.
doesn't remember
If I deep throat, if I put it way down in there, and even like sometimes I test my own self, and yeah, I can sort of, right on the rim, and if he happens to buck at the same time, yeah, that can be very dangerous. So, but I don't gag generally, and I'm pretty good with that, circumcised or uncircumcised.
I like to gag when I'm on a mission to swallow it. That's when the dick, not the cum. I want it as far back as I possibly can. It feels like I'm literally like one of those things where I'll put my mouth on and spin my head around to try and find a tunnel, to tunnel the dick into my throat. I'm committed.
Wow, you impress me. You can share that technique with me.
The problem is not all guys, I've learned, want you to throw up in their dick. And so once in a while it happens, and I was like, wait a second. It's because I watch such intense porn. I watch intense face fucking, throw fucking porn. And so for me, I've become desensitized to what a normal man wants in a blowjob. And so I remember a few guys that, I think there's one couple that I don't think I'll ever hear from again because I got a mouthful of my own, when I was sucking. I was proud of it. I was doing a good job.
You threw up in your mouth?
I did. But that shows commitment. It shows determination. But they stopped kissing me after that, and then I didn't hear from them.
I wonder why.
So I have to remember sometimes that
there's a balance.
It's me that wants it that deep.
Yes.
It's not always them. So I have to remember that maybe it's not worth the effort to go out that deep if they don't really need it to be that deep.
Since we're talking about blowjobs, I mean, and the techniques for that and everything, everyone seems very different. And when I was with my friend M the other day, I asked him, because I didn't know his body at all. Like, I never played with him before. So first thing I asked him is, how do you like, your balls played with, like rough or gentle? And so, I gave him two choices pretty much. And so he said, more gentle. I said, okay. So I mean, like, that tells me, do not try cock and ball torture on this poor gentleman. Like, sure. Do not squeeze, do not, do any of that sort of thing. It gave me an idea, and in fact, I certainly felt him respond to that kind of stimuli. It was very, like, featherweight, feather lightweight.
Really?
Oh yeah, like if I may, just barely touching. That's what I mean. Like, put that on his testicles, which were nicely shaved and like smooth as a baby's bottom. So that's it. It's basically. Okay, but imagine you're getting that on the bottom of your testicle.
No more consent.
Imagine you're getting that on the bottom of your testicles.
I don't want that.
Well, some guys do apparently, and he's not the only one. So my technique was very good.
You know that when I suck D, I like to get all in there with my tongue, like all over. I like to put the balls in my mouth, and I like to move the ball and then lick underneath the balls, and then lick all the way into my ass, and then tongue fuck the guy's ass. I love
Do you ask permission for that, or do you just go for it?
I usually, if it's a new partner, will ask, especially because some guys don't want fingers in their ass. Sometimes they want it just on the outside, and that's the thing that you do have to ask, because penetration requires consent. And I do ask, but if it's a partner, like Jay, for example, I already know, like, I just, like, get, like, all in there. Like, I'm just know exactly. Sometimes he sits on my face. I don't know about you, but I don't know about many men that sit on women's faces. Jay sits on my face.
Do you know there's a song like that? It was, sit on my face and tell me that you love me. I'll sit on your face. I'll tell you I love you too.
Have you ever had a man sit on your face?
Let's see. What happened the other day? Did he sit on my face? He kind of did.
Interesting. Do you use ass?
No.
Why not? Why don't you lick the asshole?
I don't know his last name.
Does that matter?
Not really.
As long as it's a clean bum hole, and most of them are the ones that I've played with, it's a really erotic area.
Well, I'm sure coming out of the pool at, Oasis, it is cleaner than at some other venues, perhaps.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the kind of thing that I would work up to that takes a little bit of trust, a little bit of getting to know you. I mean, you're getting into, like, serious nether regions.
Yeah.
Mind you, again, where the ask play is concerned, I would think I would prefer someone ask me, like, how much I want, because I don't want to end up sitting on a surprise.
It's true, and I'll be honest, I don't always want ask play. If I've had a weird, stomach day, and I don't feel super sexy about that, I wouldn't want some guy ripping open my ass and putting his tongue in there. So you always, sometimes even if you've got consent from the person, you need the consent for the day.
Well, that could also apply to Jay. Like you said, you know that he likes that, so you just go full in.
Yeah.
But you don't know, where he was right before you met up.
I kind of put some trust in people that if they have a situation with their asshole, maybe they had diarrhea or something, that they just wouldn't accept the ass play that night.
That they would tell you that, or you have to ask every night?
No, I would prefer that they just say no ass play tonight. Because I've had men do that. They'll say not the ass tonight. It's happened with Jay too one night.
Okay.
And to be honest, I have nights where I can simply not have ass play too. I just don't. It's not.
So you're comfortable enough to say, "Oh no, ass play tonight."
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's sometimes where I like getting eaten out by guys. I know I don't love it, but I like getting eaten out by guys a little bit. But as a girl growing up, we were always so, like, scared shitless about the smell of our vaginas, and how, like, we would always get made fun of, like, women in general, that they, like, smell like fish and things. And I gotta say, it takes a lot of bravery to spread your legs open and just hope that everything's, like, hunky-dory down there. And I think it's just all that trauma of growing up with the shame of women just have to,
Well, it's everywhere. I mean, it's, not just growing up. Even now, you get a lot of that kind of stuff. And, I think it's funny. I think there's a lot more. We don't give men enough credit. That I think there's a lot more that like a ripe smell than we will even know. It's us who does not like the ripe smell.
There's some ripe smells that I wouldn't even like. I'm a bisexual. I wouldn't go down on a girl if I had the. But here's the problem. Sometimes you're really, like, almost there, and then you realize, like, I did have a situation happen relatively recently where they were a bit sweaty, the person, and it made me not want to lick anything down there anymore because it felt like it was a bit musty. But not because, like, they weren't clean, but it was because they had exerted themselves beforehand.
Right.
And it became, and so sometimes, like...
Is that sloppy seconds?
No, I don't think so. I know, because that's a different issue. But for me, it's kind of awkward to, like, go down there and then backtrack. But sometimes you just gotta do that. You can just, like, instead finger them. Or,
okay, so, confession moment. I have not eaten a woman out.
Mm-hmm. Have you fingered a woman?
Brittany is not really a woman, so I'm going to go with not yet. I have played a little bit on the surface, but I have not managed to go into the surface yet. I've not managed to go into the body yet.
Inside of a woman feels different in every woman. One of the girls that I play with, when I put my finger in there, I think she has an IUD. I'm not sure. Because I feel something almost like it's, like, right there. And so that's different. It's almost like I could grab it, but I don't.
Please don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what is this? Like, is this a prize out of the cereal box? But yeah, and then there's other women. Our tunnels all feel a little different on the inside. Maybe not to men's dicks, but to my fingers they do.
See, and does the on-ramp to penetration apply to finger play as well?
It does. You don't want to start blasting a woman with 2 fingers before you've put one finger fully in and out a few times. Right. And sometimes I'll go to 2 fingers with a woman and I'll tell it's too tight and I'll go back to 1.
Okay.
Because I don't need a woman telling me because I'm a woman.
Because you'll know.
I know that when if it feels too tight going in, I know she's probably not enjoying it. And that's when I just take it out and then I just go back to 1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I will take all your sage advice about women play.
Yeah.
And I get to apply that, I think, in the next week, maybe? No, week to 10 days.
But one other thing I will say about fucking women is, and I feel like a bit, like almost a bit guilty about feeling this way. Yeah. But I do see, now that I'm a bisexual, and I'm telling you, I wasn't a bisexual my whole life. I would have been if I was. I wasn't. I see women as such beautiful creatures, and saying that in a nice, in a really flattering way, that I do see the need, and need's the wrong word, but I see the need in variety of women to enjoy women. Meaning, every woman has their own unique smell, taste, feel. Their vagina looks and smells and tastes different. And it's the variety of pussy, the variety of women that makes me excited about women. And I think that that's why I struggle with monogamy, because I'm like, well, how could I sell one woman's body for the rest of my life when I personally, as a bisexual, understand the joy of variety. And I think that's where swinging comes in for me, is that I'll be able to still experiment with my partner with lots of women, and they'll be able to get their fill, because I don't think it's realistic to just, enjoy just one woman body, for me personally, for the rest of my life.
That's a good point. Now, do you have the same feeling with men?
No. If I have a rock hard, solid cock that knows how to get hard for me and knows how to make me feel good, that's the only cock I really need, to be honest.
Wow. See, and I find that I'm very different with that. Now, granted, I do not consider myself a bisexual. I don't even know if I consider myself bi-curious. Like, it's...
I think you're more, and I'll be honest, I think in this lifestyle, you kind of have to lean a little bit towards women in order to fuck couples. And I think that you're kind of at that place where you're like, how far can you go to still fuck couples?
I'm bi-flexible in that sense.
Heteroflexible? Yeah.
Heteroflexible? Yeah. Heteroflexible. I don't know, do we have to put a label to it? Like,
No.
I don't know what it is. So I just write unknown, because I'm still discovering, so we'll
But it
find
is
out.
important that you communicate that with any couples that you might play with, because as a bisexual girl, I don't want to play with women who are not bisexual. It's maybe the odd exception. Otherwise, if I got into a threesome and the girl didn't finger me and didn't want to eat me out, I'd be very disappointed.
Yep.
So you just have to find the right match.
Yep.
And sometimes that's okay, but I don't know many couples that don't want women to play.
Well, this is it. Most of them, they do, and I'm willing to entertain that. That's this is part of my journey, is
Have you
to
kissed
try
them?
things. I did actually, in that recent
Okay.
orgy that I had with S.
Okay.
I did kiss a girl. I feel like Katy Perry,
Yeah.
But yeah, I kissed a girl, and I kind of liked it. It was not the
Tastes
same
like chicken?
thing. It was not the same thing as kissing a guy.
They're softer, aren't they? Women are softer.
Yes, and it's daunting. I don't know what to make of it yet. I need more of that. I know it's all coming. I know it's just a matter of time. I got something lined up.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't really tell you about it yet,
Mm.
but maybe I'll report back when it's all said and done.
I mean, we should have before and after of like, what's your first lesbian experience? Or like, what do you think of the women body now?
Well, this is a good question, and finding out which type of women I like, because I think I'm more picky about the physical appearance of women than I am about the physical appearance of men. Like, I mean, I like, okay, if I were to describe my ideal man for me, I like a guy who is big and bulky. It doesn't have to be like, muscle. I don't necessarily like muscle men, and certainly not steroid, that kind of stuff, but someone whose weight I would feel on top of me. Somebody who weighs more than me, or close to it. Somebody who, I don't know, has a presence over me. Like, if you're made of, like, paper and I'm going to bend you if I sit on you, it doesn't...
But what's funny is a lot of women I know, especially women who are, I would say, not, like, thin women, are similar. I don't care. I could take a skinny guy. If he's going to fuck me well...
But see, and that's interesting, because I have had all sorts, okay? I'm talking about my ideal. But the skinny guys that I've had, they are the most flexible and bendy, and often the most adventurous of the guys. So I have had good sex with skinny guys.
And it goes to show all women are different. All people are different. We all have different preferences.
Yep.
One of the most important things that I would say, especially when playing with women, is if we as women don't give the feedback of what feels good, you're never going to get what you want. So you have to strategically moan in a way so that you don't give positive feedback when something doesn't feel good, because that's the biggest mistake you can do. And you do give positive feedback. I mean, I hate to say men are like dogs, but in a way,
you're training them.
Right? In a way, we're teaching with reinforcement.
Yep.
Because people want positive reinforcement. People want the,
You're absolutely right. The more you moan, that's positive reinforcement. If you stop moaning, mind you, I have a thing where I stop breathing, and that's a good thing, but nobody knows that except me. So that's something that people learn with time.
But I'll go very silent. If a man's fucking up, I'll just be like,
really?
Because I don't want it.
See, I learned to have sex in my mother's basement, so I know how to have sex silent. And yeah, I know you don't, because I heard you from the other room. OMG.
People keep commenting on that. Some guy on my OnlyFans today was like, well, apparently you were screaming. I was like, how did you know I was screaming?
Can I tell you, we were in the next room when this was happening, okay? So, and I was busy with M, and we were, trying to get busier, and all of a sudden we hear this screaming banshee coming from the other room. And I'm like, we stopped, we're trying, and we were just like, I said to M, I said, the screaming is very distracting. And then I realized, wait, is that my friend?
And and that wasn't even peak screaming. That was level 8. I go to a level 12.
But I found it very distracting, because I'm like trying to get busy, you hear this like, ah! And you know that everybody is sort of, whoever was watching has now moved to the other room to go and see you, and which is a good thing, because now,
I didn't even notice that, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you've probably had an audience, because like, as you scream, people are like, I wonder what that is, and they all gravitate towards that room.
Jay must feel like a man. I'm just like screaming as he's pumping me full of Jay goodness.
Were you able to see in the ceiling, from the mirror?
I don't like looking up. I feel like those should be better angles for attractiveness.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
I can't object.
All I see is I look like a frog upside down with a big belly, and I was like, no, this is not the look that I want anybody seeing me as.
It's like a turtle on your back. You
Yeah.
can't get up.
And it's not the most attractive. And like, I can like try and, no, it's not. When you have a straight up mirror upside down, it needs to be tilted so that you look a little attractive.
Well, they could get those mirrors, that make everyone like half
I
skinny.
mean, that would be nice. But then the dick might look a little skinny, and guys don't like that. So.
We're not making
All I know is my face gets big because I'm laying down, so gravity is like not in our favor.
No.
And I feel very unattractive to the point where I don't want my partner looking up.
You'd probably rather not have a mirror.
I would probably rather not, to be honest. Not like that. It's not my favorite.
That's probably a good point.
Yeah. But I do want to have sex in the dungeon next time. I think one of the special seats that they have for sex.
Okay. Have you done the dungeon thing yet?
Not really.
Okay. So I played with S one day in the dungeon at his request, and actually we've played twice now in the dungeon. The first time he put me on the, I don't know what it's called, the X machine with the handcuffs and the leg cuffs, and so I'm like, we spread full on, and he went down on me. And now this is on the second floor, so, single guys were all around, and they start to come in one by one, and they sit down. One was like 2 feet from me, and they're like right next to S's head. And there was a bunch of them, and there was another couple that was on the other end. And so he's like, busy eating me up. But it's very distracting knowing that you have all these guys staring at you. And so you try to close your eyes, you try to just sort of black it out, but it's there, so you open at some point. And then you realize you better make it good. So, you exaggerate your moanings and stuff. And once there's too many people, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I gave him a tap on the head and I said, let's go. And we left. But that was kind of weird. And I just got out of the handcuffs.
Which is why you might like couples nights. If you have a date anyways, you might not want single guy night.
Well, this is true. If I were to go with a date, yeah. And for sure.
I think I'm going to look into that the next time I have a date, because if I'm not there to pick up men, I'd rather not have men all around jerking off to my sex.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good point. Because as a single woman going on couples night, that I found difficult.
It was boring AF. And let me talk to couples. When single women are present on couples nights and single women don't get attention, you're never going to get single women showing up on couples nights. So if you want a unicorn, at this point, you might have to come on single men night, because why else would women come if there's no fucking people to fuck them? So the last time I went on a couple's night, I was so fucking bored, entertaining myself alone in the pool with couples all around me, just making out with one another and completely ignoring the fact that I was literally there, ready for a threesome, and I felt like, let's just say I felt like a burger at a vegan party, okay? And I didn't want to go back. And I just got to say, I'm not the only one. And I know lots of other unicorn women, and we've all compared notes, and they all feel the same. So I think that your best bet, if you actually want a unicorn, is to come on a single guy night. Because that's the bait. They're holding the bait out for the single women to come.
That's
Ooh,
true.
I threw in my oops.
Yes, like being the single woman on couples nights. And here's what happens. You're floating in the pool all alone, and you're looking around going, couple, 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 couple. And so here's what happens, is you look around, and everyone is making out to themselves, whispering, the occasional pointing, looking in your direction, furtive glances, and you're like, la la la, in the pool, waiting for something to happen, because this couple is discussing. You know, the guy, you know, is into you. But the girl, it's all about her. Mm-hmm. So, you know, they're busy discussing and negotiating, and, you know, yes, I do, no, I don't, what about this one, what about that one, how far do you go, don't touch this, don't do that, no kissing. So they're negotiating.
I hate the fucking rules. I hate the fucking rules. It's just fuck. It's just sex. Let's just fuck.
I know, but that's the couples game. I mean, if you're a
that's
couple,
why I don't like fucking couples that much.
I mean, going on couples night as a single.
Yeah.
It sort of reminded me a little bit about the meat marketness of it.
You're right. Yeah.
Which is different than on solo guy nights. Solo guy nights. It's like.
It is still meat markety though.
It is, but you know, I feel so much more in control of it. In other words, if I set my sights on someone, you can tell pretty quick if it's a definite no thanks, or if it's a possibility. You know, it's easier to negotiate because it's only one person, and it's someone with a dick that is happy to, you know,
put it in you.
At least have a chance at it. So it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I'm sorry it's mean like that, but that's kind of what it is. Single guys are there for that, and if we're there for that too.
It's just it. I think you're gonna like catch, if you want unicorns, you're single. Like, you gotta go where the unicorns go. And if unicorns feel ignored at a couples only night, then they're not going to go on couples and women only nights. So I've noticed that me and my other unicorn friends have made a consensus that we do not go on couples only nights anymore, unless we go knowing we're not going to get fucked. Because I'll tell you one thing, no one, especially not like me, likes to go feeling all great, looking for fucking fun, and feel ignored, unseen, and frankly, it was not even a social night.
Wow, yeah, because everyone's busy, you know.
People don't need to be social if they're on a date.
Yep.
They can just be with their partner.
Yep.
So, to be honest with you, we need more single guy nights. So we're going to wrap it up there. Right. This is Girl Talk with R and TorontoUnicorn. Let us know in the comments if you have any other topics you'd like to hear us talk about. We have Brittany, the sex doll, if you want to see us kind of demonstrate anything within reason, because it's YouTube. Let us know, because we're here to chat, and we always have, insights and things to add, and sometimes it's a little nice when it's unscripted, you know?
Well, we'll have some reflections, and sometimes we actually get funny.
Yeah. All right, until next time.